Isla Mujeres, the most mesmerizing island where the Caribbean Sea meets the Gulf of Mexico. It's about 7 kilometers long and 650 meters wide, but who cares when it's entirely surrounded by crystal blue waters that you only see in movies. It used to be exposed to high level of tourism, overbooked all-inclusive hotels, which is understandable since that is mainly the way the city makes money. But is that still the case today? The longer we stayed and explored Isla Mujeres, the more my opinion about the island had transformed. It's not entirely a place of paradise, but if you enjoy going off the beaten path, this may just be the absolute bullseye of a trip without breaking a bank. This is our escape trip to Isla Mujeres on budget and during the pandemic. We had definitely considered the risks as well as the 14-day mandatory quarantine on the way back home. That is, if we get back home. But I still ask myself, would I rather want this or this for the next upcoming several days? And so today I want to give you the full breakdown of our expenses per person from our trip to Isla Mujeres, which is actually the first part of our vacation. We did it all for $65 per person simply by focusing on reducing costs in 3 areas. That would be transportation, accommodation, and food. And so it all went down like this. Welcome to our Airbnb that we're gonna be staying at for the next 3 days. Come on. Come. Now, obviously, this is the bathroom, very luxurious, very modern design, and the kitchen is gonna be just on this side. Nah, just kidding. Or am I? You gotta watch to the end. To get to Isla Mujeres from Toronto on budget, you gotta think on budget. Keeping our departing dates a little more flexible, we were able to find cheaper flight tickets to Cancun for $160. And since I am what some may consider lucky, my girlfriend who has flight attendant benefits was able to score a cheap standby ticket for the way back home for only $40, and so totaling $200. But I will leave flight costs out of the total amount since this number will vary for everyone. And so the original plan was to fly Toronto-Dallas, stay there connecting overnight, possibly sleeping at the airport, and then fly Dallas to Cancun early morning. Boy, did that not go how was planned. Day 1, the primary goal is not to have a checked-in luggage. That's instant save of $30 each way per person. So everything I will travel with has to fit into this. Okay, so this is what I am taking, and we will start with the essentials. Obviously underwear, well, underwear and socks, a couple of swimming shorts, a few tank tops, shorts, a few comfortable tees, and of course for the evenings out, a couple of dress shirts. And now all of this has to fit into this single bag. And now the stuff that goes into my man purse.
It's not a man purse, it's called a satchel. Indiana Jones wears one.
Okay. Passport, US dollars, leftover Mexican pesos, a wallet with credit card and debit card, my favorite liquids and gels, sunglasses, the mask, a speaker, charger, headphones, and a book. Nah, not this book. This book. Everything's in order, let's get to the airport. And today's Uber driver is a friend giving us a ride. Cost is $0.
Excuse me, sir, you're running late.
Driving skills though, about 2 out of 5. I'm glad to have made it to the airport alive. I'm joking. Love you, brother. Your driving skills are fast and furious quality. 5 stars. Terminal 3 at Pearson Airport seems like a ghost town at around 2 p.m. No checked-in luggage. We got our boarding passes super quickly and made our way to security and immigration. Has anyone ever tried to not stop at duty-free? Though this time there were literally no samples of any kind and no cologne testers for obvious reasons, but you can still browse around, kinda looking for nothing. As I think you know what I'm talking about. There are safety measures set in place at Pearson Airport of 6 feet apart and spaced out seating arrangements that I guess work pretty well because there's like no one there. I guess safety gets 5 out of 5. We finally found an ATM with Mexican currency with a good exchange rate. After taking out a few $100 worth of pesos, we made our way to the gate and then waiting, still waiting, and after a little more waiting, American Airlines had apologized for delay due to technical issues, and that's important since it will play a big part in our travels later. So keep watching. And so the trip officially begins as we take off, leaving the gray, cold weather behind us. This is the feeling I've missed so much since the last time we were allowed to travel. American Airlines have stepped up their game with the newer, cleaner planes, a 5 out of 5 star experience that we truly enjoyed.
Okay, so here's what happened. The original plan was to go from Toronto, connection in Dallas, to stay overnight at the airport sleeping, which is not even that bad. It's pretty comfortable. You can find a nice cozy spot on the floor. It's not that bad. But instead, what happened is the flight from Toronto to Dallas was actually a little bit delayed due to maintenance issue. So what American Airlines have done is on the way out from the plane, we came to the flight officer and we asked for the boarding pass for our next flight. And he said, actually, you are gonna get a free night of hotel stay. I'm like, free? That's my thing, because I like to do things on budget. And he goes, guys, you're not only getting free hotel, you're also getting 2 free food vouchers that are valid for a couple of days. So what we do, of course, we take the free hotel, we take the free food vouchers, and we go to treat ourselves for a little dinner. And there's no other like McDonald's. You cannot beat the prices. And the food actually is not that bad. Surprisingly, the prices at the airport are actually more expensive than the prices we get in a regular McDonald's in Toronto. Anyways, then we get on a shuttle, which is a quick drive from the airport to the hotel. We met very nice people on the shuttle. Obviously, you tip the driver. And then we get to the hotel, and here I am. We are just starting to settle in, enjoy our free night at the hotel, full tummies, and next we're ready to go for a free workout.
Bright and early, we continue our journey. On to the second flight, Dallas to Cancun. After having a free breakfast at Panera Bread, courtesy of American Airlines, we start boarding the flight, which is semi-full, and a perfect time to catch up on some unfinished sleep while the sun makes its way up. On the way out of Cancun Airport, you have the option of taking a taxi or an ADO bus. Obviously, we go for the bus option, which for only $5, it takes you to the center of Cancun. Right out of the terminal, we can already hear the musical culture of Mexico. ADO bus is spacious, air-conditioned, super modern, comfortable, and honestly, 3/4 empty. Once we're at the bus terminal in center of Cancun, nature is calling. But in order to go pee, it will cost us 6 pesos each, which comes out to 30 cents, which is better than peeing in your pants. Afterwards, we start making our way to the grocery store right behind the bus station. Everything is very much in one area, so it makes it super easy to get your necessities. You know how it goes, you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and 157 pesos each later. That's around $9. We both have our drinks, snacks, breakfast, and some lunch all set. We get onto Collectivo going to Puerto Juarez Ferry dock, which is a quick ride on a mini bus that pretty much takes you through the local areas of Cancun to get to the ferry for only 20 pesos or $1 per person, instead of taking the taxi for a total $40, saving us a fortune. The Puerto Juarez ferry dock is a chill place with an open view to the waters. You can grab some coffee or food as you wait for your ferry to Isla Mujeres. The ticket cost is 300 pesos or $15 for a round trip to the island and back without time restrictions. After a short wait, we get onto the ship, where a 20-minute transfer felt like 20-second ride because of the beautiful views, the bluest water I've ever seen in my life, and a perfect moment for banger Instagram photos. There was even a local musician playing Spanish music on board. It honestly felt like we didn't want to leave. 5 out of 5. Getting into the port of Isla Mujeres, everyone primarily gets sprayed with antibacterial mist and is asked to wear a mask. So this is where the first impression sets in. Getting out of the port, we walk down Rueda Medina Avenue for about 30 minutes to our Airbnb, seeing some of the local streets and surprisingly poorly maintained neighborhoods. Our Airbnb costs $60 for 2 nights, that's $30 per person, including service and cleaning fees. The room is pretty small, very clean, cozy, and had everything necessary to spend a few nights. The view went out onto a lagoon behind the house. The location was not perfect if you want to be at the beach, but it gives you a chance to explore the entire island by foot if you're good with walking a lot. So after having a lunch, we made our way to the northeastern side of the island, and it has taken my breath away. It made the first dent in my first impression of the Isla Mujeres. The views are absolutely jaw-dropping and pants-pooping. Huge waves up against the rocks creating all different kinds of patterns. The walk up the street is absolutely insane. We even came back late night that day to work out on the cliff, and it was utterly something. Absolute 5 out of 5 here. As we walk to the northwestern tip of the island, you can see more local culture, graffiti on the walls, OXXO stores, golf carts and bars. Yep, I said bars. You gotta stop to get yourself at least one local margarita. And so we enter the absolute best beach of the island called the North Beach. With unmatched views, white sands and fairy tale-like water, this place had us hooked. If you ever dream of a paradise, this place would be the picture that comes to your mind. What makes this beach so zen-like is that it's very wide and allows for a lot of personal space. Absolute 5 stars. As we make our way around the northern tip, also known as Punta Norte, you can see a hotel in the distance separated by a bridge from the rest of the island. On the mainland, there are more rock-like cliffs that we saw on the other side of Isla Mujeres, resisting the pressure of the waves hitting up against it. If you just stand there, you feel the absolute power and dominance. Spectacular. Taking any of the streets back into the center of the town, we're greeted by graffiti walls, swings hanging from the roofs, and of course the famous store and restaurant owners pulling us into their shops every 3 seconds. We found this place called Taqueria Los Burritos that would serve delicious pork tacos for only 15 pesos, that's under $1. Served with lime juice and hot sauce. It's like eating heaven. Check this place out if you're ever there. And down the street, it's a perfect spot to load up on a few more Instagram bangers. To get around the island, there's an option of renting out a golf cart. Rental vendors are everywhere up in the center of the island and would charge less if you rent the cart for a week or so. We chose to walk instead because we dig activity and exercise. And of course, to kill off the day, we hop into 7-Eleven. Yep, there's 7-Eleven. To get more snacks, coffee, and drinks, about $4, and get back to the beach to enjoy those insane few minutes of sunset. The only way to top a sunset in Isla Mujeres is by getting up a little earlier and getting the VIP spot on the northeastern side of the island. Back to the abandoned cliff-like side of the island, where we managed to find a trail that took us down the rocks to the view of a lifetime. This was our extreme budget trip to Isla Mujeres for only $65, full of surprises, warm interactions, and amazing local jaw-dropping spots that you will not find anywhere. Our trip was not finished as we made our way to Playa del Carmen the following day, and yes, I will definitely share our experience with you in the future video. So, see you in the next one.